Hey everybody, today we are going to challenge the air fryer against old time cast iron skillet. So we're going to fry half of our wings in the air fryer and the other half we're going to do in the cast iron skillet with the hot oil, and let's see what happens. So let's get to it. Okay, so we've already washed and dried our chicken, so let's get it started with just a little good old-fashioned salt and pepper all in here on this chicken. And then here I have some red pepper flakes, a little paprika, a little seasoning salt, garlic powder, and let's get this all sprinkled in here. Now, I will have the exact measurements in the description box, so you'll know exactly how much of what I use. And we're about to add the star of the show, the orange pepper flavoring. So we're going to sprinkle that in there. And now let's get this chicken all tossed around and get all of the chicken coated. Now, when it comes to like the red pepper flakes and the heat, so make sure you season your chicken to your family's liking. Some people don't like it really hot. Some people like it flaming hot. Me, I can take it kind of somewhere in the middle. So it looks like we got our chicken dough seasoned. So let's get our oil hot and our air fryer ready. Okay, so we've got the air fryer on and it's preheating. We've got it set to 400 degrees and we're going to cook our chicken for 22 minutes. And we're going to spray the tray for the air fryer with a little oil just to get it ready. So as you can see, the air fryer says add food. So we're going to pull that tray out and we're just going to put that in there and we're going to line up our chicken. We're going to get it all in here. So here's one thing about cooking in the air fryer. The air fryer is only so big and you can only get so much chicken in there at once. So it takes us longer to cook with the air fryer. So that's one drawback. So as you can see, we got it set to 400 degrees and we're got it set for 22 minutes. So let's move on to dropping some chicken in the oil. Okay, so let's load up this batch in the cast iron skillet and see how it does. Now here's one drawback from frying it in the oil is the popping of the grease. So let's get this skillet all loaded up. So I'm thinking these will need at least 5 to 7 minutes on each side. Okay, so we're halfway with the cooking process of this first set of wings in the air fryer. So pretty soon it'll pop up. Well, we can just go ahead and take a look at it and see what's happening. Now I'm looking at these wings and I'm feeling like we need to give them more time before we flip them over. I think they can get just a little darker before we flip them over. So let's give them a little more time before we flip them, because we want them nice and crispy. Okay, so these wings have been cooking for about 10 minutes. And if you can see, now these wings are naked. There's no flouring on them. So we're going to take these out the pot. We're going to make our sauce, and then we're going to compare our wings. So here we are. We've got 8 minutes of cooking time left. And let's take a look and see what's happening. They're frying up. They are. I know you can hear the popping and crackling. So let's flip them over and get them back in there. Now I'm going to be honest. I think we're going to need to give them a little more time. So let's pop them in there, cook them for the last 8 minutes, and see what happens. Okay, so the air fryer is done with this first set of chicken. And let's see what we got. So here's what our first set looks like. Now, I'm feeling we should give it another 3 or 4 minutes, because as you can see, it's brown, but it's not brown, and it's crunchy kind of, but not crunchy like we want our chicken to be. So let's give it a few more minutes and see what happens. Okay, so we've had them in there for an extra 4 minutes, and let's take them out and see. We know that our chicken is done. So here's what they're looking like so far. So this is what our chicken looks like so far. So let's get another batch in. Oh, we got one more in there. Let's get another batch of chicken in there and finish up. Okay, our chicken is done. So let's start on our sauce. In this pan, we are going to start with 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to let that melt down. And once we get this all melted down, we'll start to add our other ingredients. Okay, so to our melted butter, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of garlic. And we're just going to stir this around until it starts to get flavorful. Then we are going to add 1 cup of barbecue sauce. Whatever kind of barbecue sauce you want, whatever it is that suits your fancy, that's the barbecue sauce that you use. So we're going to stir that all up together. And to that barbecue sauce, we are going to add 1/4 of a cup of orange marmalade and 1/4 of a cup of honey. And we're just going to mix that right in to our barbecue sauce. Let's get all that goodness out of there, because we don't want to waste any of it. So we're going to cook that all together, and we got 1/4 of a cup of orange juice. Now this orange juice doesn't have any pulp in it, and that's going to help to thin out our sauce a little bit. So we're going to get this all combined, and to that we are also going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I know somebody's out there going, that's a lot of sugar, and that's a lot of sweetness with that marmalade and that orange juice. Well, we've got a secret to what to do if things taste too sweet for you. But we'll do that in just a minute. But we're going to get this all stirred and combined and let it start to bubble. And to this mixture, we are going to add 2 tablespoons of chilies. So these chilies have been soaking in chili oil. So I like those better than just the dried chili flakes. So we are going to mix those in. Now you can cut down on the amount or add more of the chilies that if you want it hotter or mild or none at all, you don't even have to add the chilies. So we are going to let this simmer and cook up, and while we're doing that, we are going to taste this to see if it is too sweet. And if it's too sweet, we are going to just add so let's see. I'm just going to, I don't think it's too sweet, but just to show you what you can do to cut down the sweetness, you can add just a couple of drops of apple cider vinegar, and that will help to cut down on the sweetness. And you only want to add a couple drops at a time to know whether or not it's too sweet, because if you just start pouring in apple cider vinegar, you'll lose your sauce and you'll never get it back. So, and you'll have to start all over. So you could just add a few drops at a time. Okay, so our sauce is all heated and bubbling. We're gonna toss this with the chicken and see what we have. Okay, so here we have our chicken. We have our air fried chicken, and we have the chicken that we made in the cast iron skillet. So as you can see, there's more chicken from the cast iron skillet. And that's because it doesn't take as long to cook the chicken in the cast iron skillet as it does to cook the chicken in the air fryer. So it takes approximately, I'll say, a good 26 to 27 minutes to cook your chicken in the air fryer. And this is only 2 batches of chicken in the air fryer. So you can't cook as much chicken in the air fryer as you can in the cast iron skillet. So it takes about 7 minutes to cook. I'll say 7 to 10 minutes to cook your chicken in the cast iron skillet. So this is 2 batches of chicken wings in the cast iron skillet. And it's 2 batches because I don't like to overcrowd my chicken in the skillet when I'm frying it, because it needs room so the hot grease can bubble up all around it. That way you don't have to use as much oil as you would if you filled it totally up and loaded the skillet up with chicken. So here's the thing. After cooking the chicken in the air fryer, I probably poured out almost 1/4 of a cup of oil that cooked out of the chicken. Because you got to remember, we just wiped the bottom of the air fryer with oil. So this is definitely a healthier way to cook your chicken versus frying it in the deep fryer. So I like the color better that I got on frying it in the deep fryer versus frying it in the air fryer. So, and it's crispy, but not as crispy as we would want it as if we fried it in the cast iron skillet. So even though this is healthier, this is quicker. So I guess it depends on how much time you have on your hand as to whether you would put it in the air fryer or put it in the cast iron skillet. So let's toss our chicken in our sauce, the orange sauce that we made. So what we're going to do is just dump our chicken into this bowl, and we're going to pour a little sauce over it. Then we are just going to toss it around so that it gets all coated. So we're going to toss it around in here so it gets nice and coated. And we're going to pour it out on our plate. So here's what our orange chicken looks like from the air fryer. I say it looks pretty good. And let's get our chicken tossed that we did in the cast iron skillet. Let's move that over so you can see how we just pour that over. Then we're going to toss it around. Not very good at the tossing, and I'm trying my best not to make a mess. So let's stir it up a little bit so you can see how that's coating that chicken. That looks wonderful. So let's plate that up. And see what we have. So here's our orange chicken out of the cast iron skillet. Let's clean our plates up a little bit. And here you have it. So my vote is either way you cook your chicken, whether you do it in the air fryer or in a cast iron skillet, you're gonna come out with a great meal. So hey, if you like what I'm doing, smash that subscribe button and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. And remember, cook with the ones you love and love the ones you cook for.